It is about trust when it comes to our health. So how do people know if they need you? What are some of the things that we should be looking for?
Vein problems in general come because the valves in the legs start to lose their integrity and they allow blood to pool. And so the things that would exacerbate that are family history. Genes are a very important component of bad veins in the legs. The second thing is we have an awful lot of babies here in Salt Lake Valley and Utah, and so with babies becoming an impediment to venous return. See, the blood of the veins is meant to return to the heart, and it doesn't have a formal pump to do so, so it's got to pass through blood vessels that when the uterus is gravid are actually lying under a very large obstruction. And so pregnancies seem to exacerbate people's venous problems. So genes and pregnancy. The other thing is we're all very avidly active. You live in Utah because you like to do things. You like to hike, you like to bike, you like to get around and ski and so forth. Well, what does all that do to the valves? It pressurizes them. And so they're like any other mechanical thing in a car or in a kitchen faucet or whatever else. The more use, the more it'll wear out. And so as people are avidly athletic and they stand on their feet during their jobs, or they sit at the desks to do their jobs hour after hour, those valves go from being competent, where they hold the load from falling back, to being incompetent, where they allow the load to pass through. And what that will then do is pressurize the more distal veins, or the veins that are further away. So instead of blood going back to the heart through valves that hold the load, they become valves that let the blood pool, and in pooling create ropey veins or spider veins, or just symptoms. So remember that the blood that leaves the heart is full of oxygen and glucose and amino acids, but the blood that's returning to the heart is full of carbon dioxide and lactate and urea. So these are the waste products of metabolism. So if our veins are not adequately bringing that back to the heart and instead are allowing them to pool, people have feelings of heaviness, fatigue, aching, fullness. I hear the term throb a lot. Restlessness, Charlie horses. People get night cramps, so their legs don't bother them during the day. When they finally quiet down and do nothing on their legs, guess who's talking to them? Their legs. From what? Because they've pooled carbon dioxide, lactate, and urea. So it's a little like Salt Lake Valley in January on a really lousy day.
With the inversion.
The inversion, that exhaust just isn't getting out of here. You don't have our beautiful crisp air and look out and see the Ochres or Mount Olympus. What you're seeing is this crud that sits there. So if your vein valves are incompetent, the crud of your body's circulation just pools in your calf and thigh muscles, and it causes those characteristic symptoms, aching, heavy, full, etc. The other thing is people get swelling. Because remember, the lymphatic system is a little different than the arteries, and it's a little different than the veins. It's kind of this tweener system. And its job is to pick up kind of protein-laden fluid, collect it, and then get it back in the circulation. But its means of getting it back in circulation is using the veins. So if the veins are pooling, one of the common secondary causes of swelling is that the veins are pooling, and the lymphatic circuit then gets secondarily congested, and they cause congestion of the lymphatics and swelling.